Right. So our last chapter and class. This is actually the foundation for grade 10. But in both classes, these are very easy at CBSE level. Statistics. Okay. If you actually see it from a grade 9 and 10 perspective, or say even an 11 perspective, children see these chapters only as something like which bug them because there are formulas and a lot of calculation and all. But if you go for higher advanced, something like if you want to be an analyst or something, the whole world actually works on statistics. Statistics is having data and interpreting data so that you can give a lot of models. In fact, you are very highly paid if you these are all parts of logic mathematics. This will later merge with probability, and this merge with probability will give you lots of insights to data, and the whole world behaves upon them. Say for example, you are a dealership and you want to have 5 brands of motorcycles. You are all the 5 maybe variants are not selling. One variant might sell, what might not sell. So what is the type of variant should you stock? Behavior of our consumer. In today's world, upcoming world, as I right say that a lot of changes will come up, like say you have changes from AI and other things. Mathematics will never die down. In fact, mathematics may this part, the way it is presented in CBSE is very in a boring manner. But if you look at it, it is one of the strongest part. Like if you see something called exit polls nowadays, India is such a big democracy with almost 544 seats, and there are some firms who will go by exit poll and tell you how much each political party will get, and the election before that it came accurately same. Do you mean to say that out of the 100 crore voters, that firm went to everybody and asked whom did you vote? No, not possible. How are you getting these models? Or say in stock market or in business and all. So the insight of having data, let's take some more examples. Okay. In my days when I used to come back from home, oh sorry, come back from school, I'm saying back in say 87, 88. So we used to watch cricket matches. The matches used to start at 9 o'clock. And by the time you have come back from school, one innings batting is almost over. So we used to see not only our house people, other neighbors are in our house, they're all watching match. So we're not allowed to speak so much. But in those days, India had an opener like Chris Shrikant, and he used to really blast. So we used to ask, first batting kaun kiya? Shrikant kitna mara? Ye kitna mara? How much is the score? What is required to win? And after that, the senior person is to get frustrated. Chup, bat ke dekho. I bring it now, say 25, 30, 40 years later. Same thing if you go from my classes and you go back and an IPL match is going on, you just see 3 graphics between the balls and the whole picture match becomes clear to you. You can actually mute your TV. आपको कुछ नहीं चाहिए, कोई बोलने वाला नहीं चाहिए. So much of graphics is there. कौन पहले बैट किया, कौन जीता. Not only that, your forecast model. 67% when Tendulkar has scored a century, India has gone and win the match. Whom do you vote? Percentage right now winning. Betting games are on. All these का backbone यही है statistics. So statistics कैसा चीज है? Like data, like when you study MBA, okay, there are 2 types of accounting we say, like financial accounting. Financial accounting is what? Financial accounting is always done on data which are historical data. Last year, how much did you spend? What has been the company's profit and all. When we come to subjects like managerial accounting is about to forecasting the accounting data, not on future. There is a place 60 kilometers outside Hyderabad, a lovely plot is available. Does your accounting model tell you that you should buy that land? Maybe a new highway will go and you can open a fuel station and a food park and something. Take Pebble City, what we were 10 years ago, one side road, nothing. When we came here, it was nothing. No home deliveries, nothing and all. Now everything is possible. Did somebody foresee that in 2011? And instead of buying 1 flat, he bought 2 flats out here. Somebody might have said, let's not buy it here. I will buy it in Kokapet near their Phoenix Green School. That place developed later than us, but the price is double than us. These are managerial accounting. How do you get to know what are the data you have? ये सब base करता है statistics में. But the way it is presented to you, you think statistics मतलब graph बनाना, mean calculate करना. ऐसा नहीं है. In 11th and 12th, it is there in additional mathematics. People who study what you call your commerce, they have it. Our pure science guys don't have. PCM guys don't study. There are lovely things called hypothesis modeling. How do you know whether somebody is lying in the court or not? Hypothesis lying, and they will give you exact right figures. Exact right figures आएंगे आपके कि इतना के इतने के बीच में उसका आंसर रहेगा. And these modelings are very interesting. So let's this at grade 9, if you want to study statistics in future classes, these are the future of mathematics in India. You today see Netflix, किस type के program, you are a director, you are a producer, you are making your show. Should I include your web series or not? कैसा type है, चलता है, क्या ग्राहक देखते हैं, where is those data? Today we have enormous data in our hand. Once you have logged on with Google, your every data is captured, where you went, what you did, what did you watch, what did you browse. Have you seen when you see YouTube in Hyderabad, Telugu ads come. When you again take your own laptop and you see it in Delhi, Hindi ads come. ऐसा कैसे? It's not like that. How is this happening? Who is programming that? Why when you watch with your login, you see a particular type of ad? ये सारा कुछ का बैकग्राउंड. तो आइए देखते हैं. स्टैटिस्टिक्स में कुछ चीजें जानने की हमें जरूरत होती है. नंबर 1, we talk about a thing called data. There is no point in writing definitions. Keep understanding this thing. What is data? Any piece of information is data. Any piece of information is data. Whatever, जाओ वो data लेके आओ, उसके घर में जीरा है कि नहीं, that is also data. But since we are in mathematics, the type of data that you get, you can have two types. You can have a qualitative data, and you can have a quantitative data. Okay, qualitative data. How tasty is the food in restaurant? Very tasty. How tasty is the food in restaurant? You will also say very tasty. Who knows you are an idiot by taste? You don't even know what is taste. How do we say, नहीं नहीं जयदीप बोला है ना तो really tasty. Oh, is he a foodie? Oh no sir, he is a foodie. How will a third person agree to that? So qualitative को भी, if you want to improve, you have to assign some numbers to it. Sometimes when you go to a restaurant, you will get a questionnaire given to you. On a scale of 10, rate how do you find our ambience? How convenient was the parking? Right? All this I keep saying. Did the waiter greet you with a smile? Like recently, I had after coming from Mahabaleshwar, I got my car serviced again, and there was from Honda it comes. So somewhere I scored, I gave a less score. Immediately it has come. This has been registered versus this. So actionable item. Today, when you go to Amazon, why do you see the review? How does the review help you? 5 stars. Okay, 97,000 में 4.5 stars. Really? Either unless they are purchase reviews. Purchase review means give us 5 stars and we'll give you, and give us, nowadays in Amazon it happens. Give us 5 stars and give a screenshot of your review. We will refund 50 rupees on your what you call WhatsApp. That's a purchase review. But honest, and I said, now suppose there, like when I was buying this particular thing, so many people have not bought from Amazon. There are 5 reviews, 5 are all 5 star. How do I not say that oh बेचने वाले के भाई बहन ने 5 star दिए? But there are some things like when I told him use that Jetmatic pen, out of 9,000 it is 4.5 star review. So average it should go well. You know the law of averages we read. So and Romans used to say in BC period, what gets measured can be improved. Therefore measurement is always required. ये जो लोग बोलते हैं ना exams हटा देंगे, marks हटा देंगे, then where is the yardstick to measure? As children, you are not only supposed to have knowledge, you also have to have a sense of responsibility to appear on something. If you take away all marks and all, then what is the yardstick to differentiate? We are a populated country. We don't have so many seats. Only out of 2 of them, 1 can get. Then how can you give it on qualitative basis? Quantitative is mandatory. End of the day, every qualitative, and you know, the problem happens when you have qualitative data to be this is the most problematic thing from data entry guys. Like there will be some free text comment. Any other comments you would like to give? People would like to give, yeah, your reception area was not that clean. These are called free text comments. How do we now assign marks to those? There should be somebody who must have कोई time लेके लिखा है ना, कुछ तो important होगा. So some marks should be assigned to that also. So is there somebody who is able to assign that marks? So ये सब कुछ statistics is very, people say bakwas ka mathematics, but not. this clubbed with probability is a very very strong tool. Okay, so now quantitative data. So this is one way. Since we are doing mathematics, we will be only talking about quantitative data. Is that clear? Once you get data, okay, then we say that the like data I have made, say our friend Dipanshu sit in orbit mall, and whoever comes, his job is आपका एज कितना है and to note down. आपका एज कितना है, note down, right? Now that type, he's not guaranteed that he will get always a teenager. He may get an elderly person, next he may get a toddler. So I tell him, बच्चा देख के जो भी चल के आ रहा है, anyone who is walking, you just ask the age and note it down. End of the day, he has come back to me with 5,000 data, all ages. Maybe out of them 3,000 he has bluffed. थोड़ी देर के बाद बोर हो जाएगा, तो मैकडोनल्ड्स में बैठ के ऐसे ही लिख रहा है 30, 40. See now there is sanctity of data. Statistics is good if the data collection is also good. Sanctity of data, have you understood? He thought, what is the job? आने से आपका नाम क्या है, and तो देखा बार बार पूछने से अच्छा है मैकडोनल्ड्स में बैठ जाओ एसी लेके. And he only creates names, and he is only, so that is called bogus data. So once data comes, this data that we get, we call it raw data. रॉ डेटा हमारे काम का नहीं होता है. इस रॉ डेटा को हमें क्या करना पड़ेगा? We have to make it processed data. Actually, what you want to do, आपने क्या करना है? Now this processed data can be in many ways. It can be an arrangement. It can be an arrangement, and this arrangement can be either, say, I have arranged them in ascending or descending order. That can be one. Okay, I have put Arav in another segment. I said, Arav, जिस बच्चे को भी देख रहा है, क्लास पूछ लेना और लिखते जाना. So he's asking class 1, इतना class 1 ऐसे. Then he's telling me class 1 के हमें मिले 4, 5, 6. That doesn't make any sense. So I tell him, एक काम करो Arav, group कर लो. The data that you have got, you group it. Sir, how do I group it? Group it into primary school, early school, middle school, high school. That is one way. Based on what I want to do with the data. That is called process data. Have you understood? Arrange data, process data. This was the initial story. Our job starts now with data. We will be studying everything where we are having processed data. These things will not be told to you. When your school will teach you, they'll teach you, children, today we'll learn histogram. Today we'll learn mean. It's not like that. It starts from day one. Statistics is all about having a lot of data and then coming out with some inferences. What do you want? 50 times that I went to Ratnadeep, I found that on 35 occasions, what you call tomato was there. On the 51st time, you're really on an important job and your mom is pestering you to go and buy tomatoes. And you are giving thing, 35 times only I got tomatoes. नहीं है तो मैं शाम को जाता हूँ. शाम को मत जाओ, खत्म हो जाएगा, अभी जाओ. Will just statistics help you to have a model? A model, statistics and probability. What is statistics? You have the data every day. I was suffering from viral fever. The doctor comes and asks me, दिन में कैसा था? Doctor cannot sit beside me. He will come again in the evening. So as a student of statistics, what I did, every hour I took my measurement and I took my temperature and I plotted this on Excel. ईमेल करके डॉक्टर को भेज दिया. Let's say you are suffering from something like dengue or something where it's a wailing fever, and that pattern is helpful for the doctor. Are you understanding? Or say we have some models. Now say we have an AI generated app which can help you in common medication. ऐसा भी आएगा दुनिया में, आएगा, है भी. Common medication means 5-6 questions the app will ask you. You're suffering from say sneezing or allergy. You open up the app. Think ना, ऐसे भी सोचो. What is your age? Give your gender. What is your body height, weight? It will take your BMI, so it will understand how much dosage of medicine you can withstand. Are you suffering from headache? Since when? This, that. Now, how was this questionnaire in the app prepared? Then me and Piyusha, we sat with 3,800 prescriptions of only influenza and flu, and we started categorizing them: what type of gender, what age group, what medication, what not given, and we designed an algorithm. And we will say strike rate of this algorithm is 94%. मतलब इसके मुताबिक मेडिसिन लेने से 94% आप ठीक रहोगे. Have you seen those nutrition and bodybuilding apps भी रहता है ना? It will tell you everything, diet, what you eat, are you a little bit on the pounds, little bit of love handles, this, that. Then they'll say, we have customized your diet plan. Now click on the link pay button to get your plan. That's how, that's something money देना है. कहाँ से आ रहा है? Statistics से आ रहा है. So you have to have a lot of data, and based on data, you can project what is going to happen. So this model of working in near future is going to work a lot. We analyzed all the user bases of Netflix in India, and we found that these type of programs run good in India. Have you seen? There are some movies which will be available Netflix abroad, not in India. Market nahi hai. There are some saas bahu serials which work in India, which is not working there. Market nahi hai wahan pe. Ye clear hua aapko? ठीक है? You'll not see so many baseball matches. But is there any cricket matches? Again, you go to US, you'll not see so many cricket matches. Yes. So we will be working with processed data part. Okay? So some of the things that we would like to discuss first is, I see we will go by the book, we'll do exercise. पहले तो समझते हैं. Let's say with processed data. We have got processed data. So let us understand some things. Statistics is all about mentioning your data in some tabulated form, right? Let's say we are trying to take what you call marks of students in an examination. There were 10 students, and the marks of 10 students in an examination out of 10, where a child got 10, somebody got a 7, somebody got a 8, somebody got a 9, another guy got a 9, okay? And then we have, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then somebody got, another guy got 7, another 10, another 6, and another 5. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and another 9. These are the score by 10 children, right? We have it. Now, one of the common thing would be, what is the class average? We would like to calculate. Samajh mein aaya na? What is the class average? We all know, add everything and divide it by 10. That will give you the class average. In statistics, it also becomes important for us to understand that the type of data and the finding that you are giving, don't do just because your book has taught you how to learn mean. Mean करके कोई फायदा हो रहा है? Like say, our sir used to say that if your leg is inside a refrigerator, -degree, and head is inside a boiler, which is greater than 100 degrees centigrade, will you be at mean at the middle of your body? Statistics says you should be at mean. तो मर जाओगे तब, ठीक है? ऐसा भी data नहीं देना. You can work a mean out here, but is the mean going to help you? Not, probably not. But however, let's say we are looking at the price of, say, dragon fruit in Ratnadip for last 30 days, and we find that the graph of dragon fruit is showing something like this. Something like this. This is the price variation of dragon fruit, and this is the price bar, where we find that this is something like 150 rupees a kg. This is 160. And this is, say, 140. Okay. Now, if your mother tells you, "Ja, thoda dragon fruit leke aa, 1 kilo," you know that if I take 200 rupees, I'm well cushioned. मुझे वापस आने की जरूरत नहीं है. And if you try to draw, if somebody says, "What is the average price of dragon fruit at Ratnadip?" you'll say, "Let's draw a trend line that fits everything." ये trend line draw करने से, I find it is around 154 or something. अरे यहाँ mean काम करता है. But I'm a new batsman. पहला मैच में 100 मारा, अगले मैच में 0 मारा. Should I, what is my mean score now? 50. Should I be picked up for the third match, which is very crucial? Does mean work? No. Do we have enough number of observations for this batsman? No. Now it's only a close call. लेकिन है. International cricket में observations नहीं है. Domestic cricket की data तो है. Now it is jua. Somebody would like to still drop the better player who has become a little bit aged and yet play with me. And if I click today, tomorrow me and him are in headlines for good reason. And if we don't click, then he is no more in good reasons. Critics will bite you. ऐसा भी data होता है. Is this understood? हाँ.
Registers when we calculate average attendance.
हाँ.
19.5% presence.
हाँ.
Daily.
हाँ.
I'm thinking us for.
हाँ, 90. That's a statistical approach. You are not going to question. 19.5 means average. Overall, later they will round it up. Average of daily. Why should you get out the 0.5?
1% body presence. When my teacher told 1% is body present and mind absent, that's why.
No. The reason is that they don't lose it out because your reporting is not on daily basis. This daily data will be taken and accumulated into monthly basis. So if you omit the 0.5s every day, your data will be falling short later on. If you round up for every day's expense, overall monthly expense में जाके round up हो जाएगा ना, तो नहीं करना है. ये clear हुआ. So now One of the ways we say that once this is a processed data, we also like to see again that term comes, the physics term will come here, and we call that term as, say, frequency. Okay, frequency in raw language means how many times does a data appear, कितने बार एक data appear कर रहा है, ठीक है. Now let's say we are supposed, somebody tells you इसका total करो, इसका total करो. So one way to total this number would be what? You will total this number is that you just straight away total it. पहले समझ लो, फिर all problems are easy. इसको straight total करो. And now let's put what we call as, थोड़ा सा दिमाग लगा के इस प्रॉब्लम को सुंदर से करने की कोशिश करते हैं कि इसको टोटल करना है. इसको टोटल के कैसे रास्ते हो सकते हैं? First of all, let us arrange this data into either an arranging what you call either a ascending or a descending pattern. चलो इसको descending pattern में arrange कर लेते हैं. So first we will have a 10. The 10 is gone off. How many nines? 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 nines. Okay, we have 2 tens. Okay, we have 2 tens. So the 2 tens are gone. The 3 nines are gone. After that we've got 1 8. Okay, that's good. And we have got 2 sevens, right? And 2 sevens. Okay, 1 6 and 1 5. Are we done? Right? We're done. Right. Now, one way would be to add here. Another smarter way would be that we now say 10 and we take the frequency of 10. 10 is coming 2 times. We take 9. 9 is coming 3 times. 8 is coming once. 7 is coming 2 times. 6 is coming once. And 5 is coming once only. Now check the frequency. 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 1, 6 plus 2, 8, 9, 10. That means all data have been taken. We were looking for what? We were looking for 10 children's score. सारा data उठाया कि नहीं, उसका भी तो test होना चाहिए ना. The sum of frequency will tell you. So 10 children have been taken. Now let's say we process their product. How much is it? 20. Then 27, 8, 14, 6 and 5. I don't think there is any more easier way manually to do the addition. So
One more way. Like the maximum is 10, right? So you take the entire score as 100 and keep subtracting small from each score.
I'm saying to process the sum of this score. Suspend judgment. So there is no other easier method to straight away process the sum for this number. Okay, we are just processing the sum of the scores, the sum of total scores. So this is one approach that we will be using while computation of means and other thing. Now, let's say a piggy bank. Nowadays, you all don't have any piggy banks, so उतना होता नहीं. हमारे टाइम पे नहीं होने से भी अभी तो उतने वेरिएशन ऑफ कॉइन्स नहीं है ना, डिनोमिनेशंस उतने नहीं है. Nowadays we used to have 5 paise, 10 paise, 25 paise, 50 paise, then 1 rupee. 1 rupee means some great kind person has given you 1 rupee. 50 paise used to rule and 25 paise. So 25 paise जो भी है चिल्लर डाल के जा रहा है. And when that cauliflower is to be broken, all the piggy banks used to be made of earthen piggy banks, and they used to be in the form of some vegetable, cabbage, brinjal, then pumpkin. Yeah, in village shops you'll get them. So the day your accumulation is over, the parents will keep on saying, "नहीं नहीं अभी भी जाएगा, नहीं नहीं भर गया." So you have to break it. There's no other way. And when you break it, सारा पैसा निकलता है. So the way we used to count is we used to make stacks, 25 coins के stacks. What now you'll say quarters. So 25, 50s, 20s. And then we used to count how many into 25, like each of 4 of a 25 makes it 1 rupee. So 425, 425, 4. These are all 1 rupee like that. So in grade 8, you have learned one of the other approach that we use for making frequency easy is called the tally mark approach. This we can go faster. I hope you know what is a tally mark. Okay, that's one way of counting. For everything that appears 5 times, we take it as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is taken as this way. Looking at this figure itself, this is an indicative way of counting. You know, ये 5 है. समझ में आया? Right. So if we now go with this story and try to build what you call whatever we have learned so far. So we will always say that we will have a data, okay, and the data is arranged, and we will have the frequency of data. And let's say our what do you call our table format starts. So once we have data, ये डेटा हो गया और ये डेटा का फ्रीक्वेंसी हो गया. So either you can have the frequency in numbers, or another way you can have the frequencies in tally marks. Is this understood to you? And when we say data, so far the type of data you had, where the data is like the 10, the 9, the 8s, the 7, the 6, the 5, the 4. So this is a data which is arranged. And it can be the score of how many children? It can be the score of 30 children also. Maruti 800 kitno ke paas hai? Out in our parking we are doing. How many people have Suzuki cars? How many have Toyota cars? How many Kia cars? Once you get the Kia, how many Kia Seltos, how many Kia Sonet, like that we can also do. So once this thing forms up, this data what you are getting, this is a very kiddo and very lovable way. ऐसे आपको आएगा नहीं. This is what we call as ungrouped data. Ungrouped data. Data में कोई grouping नहीं है. ठीक है? Data में कोई grouping नहीं है. Scores कैसे हैं? 10, 9. हल्का सा 10 के ऊपर score हुआ था. I'll change your idea, thought process now and say that the scoring was on 100. 100 में है तो पूरा स्कोर लिखोगे क्या? 100 किसको मिला, 89 किसको मिला, ऐसा नहीं. तब हम कैसे बात करते हैं? Children, raise your hands who got scores from 90 to 100. Man, I got. How many of you got from 80 to 90? Then we raise our hands. So slowly, this form of data representation will slowly go away, and we will have something which is called group data. और यहां से आपका चैप्टर शुरू होता है, ग्रुप डेटा. अब ग्रुप डेटा कैसे हो सकते हैं देखते हैं. जैसे मान लो वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट say price of a household commodity, some household commodities. We are going to a shop and we see that it's a kirana shop, and we see that say 30 से 35 रुपए में इस दुकान में कितने सामान है. स्वीट शॉप. In 30 to 35 rupees, how many type of sweets are available? The next block that we are making is 35 से 40 के बीच में कितने हैं, 40 से 50 के बीच में कैसे हैं, ऐसे हैं. अब मान लो 50 से 60. Why I am saying all this? When children get to grade 10 also, they will not remember these things. They just do problem. सीखो ऐसे. So this is called group data. And in this group data, any of this is known as a class. यहां से आप समझना शुरू करो. इसे हम क्या बोलते हैं? क्लास बोलते हैं, राइट. एंड द डिफरेंस बिटवीन क्लास जैसे ही हो गया, इसको हम बोलते हैं UCL. दिस इज नोन एज अपर क्लास लिमिट. अपर क्लास लिमिट. अपर क्लास लिमिट ऑफ व्हाट? दिस पर्टिकुलर क्लास, नॉट दिस. इस क्लास का अपर क्लास लिमिट. तो इसको हम क्या बोलेंगे? LCL. लोअर क्लास लिमिट ऑफ विच क्लास? दिस क्लास. समझ में आया? देखो अभी से लेकिन बहुत कुछ आ जाएगा. ग्रुप डेटा. ग्रुप डेटा में हर क्लास को हम क्लास बोलते हैं. इस क्लास में एक अपर क्लास होता है और एक लोअर क्लास होता है. ठीक है. देन दिस 50 minus 40, if you see we are having, or say 50 minus 40 to 45 होना चाहिए था. सॉरी. ओके, सो 45 कर देते हैं. And then 45 to 50. नहीं तो पहले आपको गड़बड़ी हो जाएगा. So say 40 to 45 and 45 to 50. So if you see 50 out here, we will say, okay, we'll say between 45 and 40 you get 10. If you check here also, the difference is 10. The difference is, sorry, not 10. So difference is 5. Sorry, the difference is 5. If you check here also, the difference is 5. This is known as my class interval. My class interval is 5. 5 के इंटरवल पे क्लासेस बने हुए हैं. Are we fine? Okay. ये अपर क्लास लिमिट हो, ये लोअर क्लास लिमिट. अब दूसरा चीज देखेंगे. You just check the diagonal relationship now. If you find that the diagonal relationship में upper class limit of the preceding class is equal to the lower class limit of the next class, then such a type of distribution is known as continuous distribution. उसको हम बोलते हैं कंटिन्यूअस. अभी चाहे तो कुछ लिख लीजिए, बहुत ज्यादा. You will learn many small things, but lot of things. Very easy to forget them. So first we say data. Data can be group data.
So we classify.
We'll see that. So continuous data distribution, continuous group data. So we have group data. In group data, we have classes. So the left hand side is known as the lower class limit of any class. The right hand side is called the upper class limit. Difference between upper class and the lower class for a particular class is known as the class interval. And if the upper class of the preceding is equal to the lower class of the next one, then it is known as a continuous class. Have you understood? ज्यादा कुछ नहीं सीखा, हमने क्लास इंटरवल सीखा. तो क्लास इंटरवल क्या होता है? UCL minus LCL. Okay. Let's see. Again, check whether you have a clear understanding of these things or not. What is number 0? 0 is group data. कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आया पूछ लीजिए. सबसे पहले ग्रुप डेटा. ग्रुप डेटा के बाद आता है हमारा क्लास. We get to know what is a class. Group data, class. Class के बाद we get to know what is LCL and UCL. Then we get to know what is class interval. Then after that we got to know what is continuous distribution. Check whether anything you don't understand. Continuous distribution में कैसा रहेगा? Preceding class का UCL subsequent class के LCL एकदम बराबर होगा. Continuous में हमारा रहेगा UCL preceding is equal to LCL subsequent. मतलब एक कंटिन्यूटी रहेगी. देखो 30 से 35, 35 से 40, 40 से जहां छोड़ रहे हो वहीं से शुरू कर रहे हो. इसे हम क्या कहते हैं? कंटिन्यूअस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. क्लियर? ओके. इसके बाद हम आते हैं समथिंग व्हिच इज नोन एज ओके 5 समथिंग नोन एज क्लास मार्क. क्लास मार्क होता है मिड पॉइंट. क्लास मार्क निकालने का तरीका होता है LCL प्लस UCL डिवाइडेड बाय 2. ऐसे आप सोचो तो इसका मिड पॉइंट क्या होना चाहिए? 32.5. 30 to 35, what is the midpoint? 32.5. Add 30 and 35, 65. 65 you try to divide with 2. 60 divided by 2 is 30. 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. So 32.5. इसे हम कहते हैं क्लास मार्क. See, you initially when I started with that 10 marks wala test, you got numbers. We always proceed in statistics with numbers. लेकिन आपको नंबर नहीं देगा, आपको ग्रुप कर देगा. वहां से नंबरें पैदा कीजिए. द नंबर्स आर व्हाट? द क्लास मार्क्स. आर यू अंडरस्टैंडिंग? वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट द क्लास मार्क्स एंड देन प्रोसीड विद द प्रॉब्लम. इफ द प्रॉब्लम स्टार्ट्स विद ओनली इंडिविजुअल डेटा, दैट मींस यू कैन टेक देम एज द क्लास मार्क इटसेल्फ. तब और क्लास बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन वो आपको क्लास बना के देगा और क्लास मार्क्स से मिड पॉइंट निकाल के आप आगे प्रोसीड करेंगे. अंडरस्टूड?
This midpoint is different from median cost of
I'll tell you, Angad, one small thing. You have to suspend judgment in life. What are we studying? Chapter? Which class is it? Which class is it of statistics? First class. If you have read something which is there before in the book, or you have seen your eyes and all, because you have not read median in grade 8. Listen to me, you have not read median in grade 8. I will go by syllabus. Grade 8 doesn't teach you median. Doesn't teach you median. Don't argue with me. I teach grade 8, so I know. If you think you have studied something in median, then hold the judgment. अभी उसको पूछ के आप डिरेल करते हो डिस्कशन को. इसके पहले भी आप डिरेल करते हो. मैं पूछने के अगेंस्ट नहीं हूं. अभी इसको जानिए ना. If there is something to be said of median or mean, do you just imagine something? Suppose this midpoint had to talk about median and mean. You are learning with me for now almost one academic year. I may not be the best, but am I that dumbo that from my mouth you'll once also not hear about median or mean? Did I speak also median or mean? Then why are you bringing it? आराम लीजिए ना कहानी का. ये फॉरवर्ड मार के एपिसोड मत देखो, धीरे धीरे जाने दो. ड्रैगिंग करके क्यों देखना है? मीडियन मीन इसमें होगा तो बोलूंगा ना. कुछ छूटेगा भी तो देखो, कुछ छूट भी सकता है. आई एम ह्यूमन. छूटेगा तो वापस आऊंगा. आगे फिर बोलूंगा अरे एक चीज छूट गया था, पर ऐसा भी कुछ नहीं छूटेगा कि दैट्स अ ब्लंडर, वो नहीं होगा। अभी आप इसमें अगर बोल दो सर दिस इज द स्टेप डेविएशन मेथड और समथिंग लाइक दैट दैट वी आर ट्राइंग टू डू, then I'll tag you what you know, then your tagging comes as DCP. You know what DCP? Desperate for class participation. We used to say this to our friends in class. Ma'am, I have a question. Question का कोई लिंक ही नहीं है जो पढ़ा रहा है। ठांड रख बेटा, आराम लेना, कहानी को ऑब्जर्व करो, मजा लो। आप सोचो कि आप जीरो से सीख रहे हो। ये तो बुक में तो ऐसे है नहीं, बुक में तो एक्सरसाइज से शुरू कर देता है, मैं भी शुरू कर सकता था। मैं आपको ये क्यों बता रहा हूँ? Because when you go to grade 10 and 11, you should never have these doubts again, what is continuous, what not. Like one question he asked, sir, if I have to put 35 as a data, that's a sensible question because he's watching 35 दोनों जगह पे. Then also I told him, hold on, we'll come to that. ठीक है? So have we understood class mark? We are generally will always solve problems as data, frequency, and then आगे whatever you have to do. Mean, median, mode, histogram, bar graph, whatever. Data we want data. या तो आपको data दे देगा, like in grade 8 they used to give you data and ask you to draw graph. Now they'll give you group data. Group data से data निकालना आना चाहिए. So what is that data? The data is always the class mark. How do you get the class mark? LCL plus UCL divided by 2. क्या इतना clear हो गया आपको? Right, fine. So going, हाँ बोलो बेटा.
Can the class interval and class mark be this?
एवरी क्लास एक, उसमें टेंशन नहीं है। देखो ऊपर ये भी अच्छा क्वेश्चन है। देखो इसमें कैसा है, इसका क्लास मार्क कितना है बेटा बोलो? 32.5। क्लास इंटरवल कितना है इसमें? 5-5 का चल रहा है ना, इसमें 5 जोड़ दे 37, और बार बार निकालने की जरूरत नहीं है। इसमें 5 जोड़ दे 42.5, इसमें 5 जोड़ दो 47.5। पहला वाला अगर निकल गया, उसके बाद यू जस्ट हैव टू ऐड द क्लास इंटरवल, अपने आप निकलता जाए। एंड यू कैन चेक, this is midpoint of this, you will not go wrong. And at your level they'll not give you irregular class distribution, they'll all will be a regular class distribution. There can be gaps of 10, gaps of 5, gaps of 15, gaps of 20, whatever. Have you understood? पहला वाला निकल गया ना, क्लास इंटरवल पता है, जोड़ दो। अरे भैया ये और ये 5 के फर्क में है, ये और ये भी 5 के फर्क में है, तो इनका मिड पॉइंट भी तो 5 के फर्क में जाए ना, तभी तो लीनियर जाएगा चीज। क्लियर? आइए कुछ और देखते हैं। Something that Vaibhav had questioned. Let's say take a data which is like 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, and 50 to 60. ये कैसा टाइप डेटा है? कंटिन्यूअस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन। क्लास इंटरवल कितना है? 10। LCL कितना है फर्स्ट क्लास का? फर्स्ट क्लास का। If I tell you what is the LCL, you should ask me, sir, which class? LCL is class specific. LCL of this class is 10. Okay. What is the smallest data in this particular distribution? What is the highest? इसको हम कहते हैं रेंज। रेंज होता है आपका पहला क्लास का, रेंज इज द UCL of the last class minus the LCL of the first class. ऐसा कोई great thing I did not tell you. You sometimes go to a gift shop and you say, बच्चे के बर्थडे का गिफ्ट दिखाइए, रेंज क्या है? 50 से 60 तक का दिखाइए, minimum to the maximum. The minimum and the maximum is always known as the range of data, the entire range. Like say when we say what has, अब range का यूज कहाँ होता है? Suppose I am a teacher और मेरे क्लास में बच्चे एग्जाम दे रहे हैं, okay, there are some 30 kids who are giving a 100 mark paper. The top score we got 100, and maybe there is one शैतान बच्चा who doesn't study at all, and all children have scored something above 70. One bacha scored 8. Are you understanding? 8. Now what is the range of data? Huge. 100 minus 8 is 92. It tells in बच्चों के performance 92 numbers के across spread है. Then somebody will, as if I'm a supervisor to the teacher, I'll say, what have you been teaching? Your children's scores are not consistent. Range जितना छोटा होगा, consistency utna better hai. If I say that the performance of my children have been such that the range is 10, that means if the highest score is 90, the lowest score is 80. And how many children you have in your class? Sir, 72 children. 72 children scoring between 80 to 90. Excellent class. Range chota hona chahiye. But again, subjective. Suppose we went to a shop and we are trying to look at shoes of a newly launched brand, which is the ट्रेंड सेटर फॉर एल्डरली टू किडोज. आपका सबसे छोटा साइज क्या है सर? वी हैव गॉट जूनियर्स 2 to seniors 10. Wow, 8 has का range, means they have a wide variety of stocks. There you want the range to be high. So it all depends किस चीज पे क्या, but our concentration should be क्या हमने range को समझा है कि नहीं. Range, have you understood? Okay, now question comes, how to place data. Children, when you are in continuous data distribution, then the lower limit is always included, the higher limit is excluded. ये आपको lifelong याद रखना है. 11 में भी आएगा, 10 में भी आएगा. Means Vaibhav's question, if a child has scored 20, the child will be brought in this slab. If a child has scored 30, the child will be in this slab, not in this slab. LCL is accounted, UCL is not accounted.
He scores 60.
What if he scores
60.
अभी 60 है ना, इस क्लास में तो एक और क्लास बढ़ा के देना पड़ेगा, 60 to 70 लेके करना पड़ेगा. तुम्हें सवाल ये पूछना था सर, व्हाट इफ ही हैड स्कोर्ड 50.5, वो पूछना चाहिए. व्हाट इफ द चाइल्ड वुड हैव स्कोर्ड 50.5, कहां पे बिठाए? नाउ इफ द स्कूल इज फॉलोइंग कंटिन्यूअस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, वी विल आइदर ग्रेस हिम विद अनदर 5 और विल डिसग्रेस हिम विद हिज 5.5. समझ में आ रहा है? लेकिन हम ग्रेस डिसग्रेस नहीं करेंगे. Have you understood? He was asking where will be 60 बोला था, 60 70 एक और स्लैब खोलना पड़ेगा हमें. मैंने पूछा अगर 50.5 आएगा तो कहाँ बिठाएंगे? यहाँ तो 50.5 बिठाने की जगह नहीं है. तो उस केस में if your data distribution is so rigid, then आपको 0.5 को या तो then you have to take a call. What is the call? So like in science in 11 you'll study significant figures, rounding off. You have to report in 2 digit only. So 50.5, anything 5 and more than 5, we will go to the next number. लेकिन वो बच्चा जो 50.4 स्कोर किया, unluckily he will fall in 50 ब्रैकेट में फिर जाएगा. कुछ नहीं कर सकते. It's like that. Okay. So then comes another type of class distribution which we call discontinuous class distribution. और वो distribution कुछ ऐसा होगा. The distribution will be say 1 से लेके 5, 1 2 3 4 5. नेक्स्ट इज 6 7 8 9 10. 6 से लेके 10, 11 से लेके 15, देन 16 से लेके 20 एंड देन 21 से 25. अब जरा देखो तो अब डिसकंटिन्यूटी है, 5 के बाद 6 आ रहा है, राइट? ऐसे केस में सपोज नाउ आवर फ्रेंड वैभव विल आस्क, सर इफ यू हैव स्कोर्ड 5 वेयर आई शुड बी? Now this is also included, this is also included. Discontinuous में ये एक खासियत है that this one is also included, this one is also included. Have you understood?
50.5 तो नीचे है.
नहीं 50.5 मैं आपको एक उदाहरण दे रहा हूँ. 50.5 को कैसे बिठाते हैं दिखाऊंगा. आपने मुझे 60 स्कोर कहाँ बैठेगा पूछा था ना. मैंने पूछा 60 स्कोर के लिए मैं एक अलग एक क्लास खोल दूंगा 60 to 70. तो दीपांशु आस्क 60 कहाँ बिठाएंगे? मैंने बोला चलो ये एक और क्लास लेना. अब बैठ गया तुम्हारा 60, अब यहाँ बैठ गया. मैंने पूछा अगर 50.5 स्कोर करता तो कहाँ जाता? क्यों जाएगा? आपको किसने राउंड करने दिया?
50 to 60.
Who gave you the right to round? नहीं कर सकते ना. राउंड करोगे तो सी इफ दिस इज द मेजरमेंट ऑफ गोल्ड, 4 ग्राम राउंड कर दोगे. मतलब किसी कस्टमर का नेकलेस अगर 0.4 ग्राम ज्यादा है, आप उसे फ्री में दे दोगे 0.4 ग्राम्स ऑफ गोल्ड? ऐसा नहीं. और अगर किसी कस्टमर का नेकलेस 50.5 है, आप उसे 51 का प्राइस ले लेंगे? ऐसा भी नहीं. वो हम देखेंगे, राइट? सो डिस्ट्रीब्यूशंस आर ऑलवेज डन बेस्ड ऑन द टाइप ऑफ डेटा दैट वी रिपोर्ट. हैव यू अंडरस्टूड दिस वन? इन दिस टाइप ऑफ डेटा both the upper class limit and the lower class limit is taken. Now our interesting part of grade 9, like say I have a data which is 10.5. now where will you fit 10.5? ये भी सीखिए 10.5 को कहाँ बिठाएंगे. नहीं बैठ सकता है ना. यहाँ पे 10 included, 11, 10.5. ऐसे केस में हम क्या करते हैं? we take the preceding classes, what you call UCL, and subsequent classes LCL. Try to understand. पहले सुनो कैसे होता है. Preceding classes UCL and subsequent classes LCL. कितना है बेटा? So I'll say LCL of subsequent class. This always will be more. This will be more than UCL of preceding. Do you agree or not? Okay. इनका डिफरेंस निकालेंगे. 6 minus 5 कितना आया? 1. And we would take a number which is half of this difference. Half of this difference कितना आया? 0.5. This is my adjustment factor. ठीक है. अब क्या करेंगे? गंदा एग्जाम्पल, पैंट पकड़ लो, पैंट है ना, ट्राउजर. आवर सर इज टू से चड्डी जैसा है तुम्हारा. इस तरफ में 0.5 खींचो, इस तरफ में भी 0.5 खींचो. यहां से 0.5 निकालिए. Go back. How much you will land up at? 0.5. And land another 0.5 this side. 5.5. इससे 0.5 फिर वापस जाइए. 5.5, 10.5. Then 10.5, it becomes 15.5. 15.5 and then 20.5. 20.5 कितना बना? 25.5. जरा कुछ खूबसूरतियां देखिए. Discontinuous data became continuous. Truck, 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 truck. It became continuous. पहले भी क्लास इंटरवल कितना था? 5. अब भी क्लास इंटरवल कितना है? 5. चेंज नहीं हुआ है. Have you seen?
Yeah.
Now our score was how much? 10.5. अब 10.5 को इस क्लास में भी. How many of you understood, or how many want me to repeat again? Shall I repeat once again?
No.
Okay, I'll repeat once again. We saw something called continuous data distribution. In continuous data distribution, the UCL of a class, preceding class, will always be equal to the LCL of the subsequent class. The good thing and bad thing about it is it shows a very nice diagonal relationship. But if the numbers are to be picked in such a manner that the LCL is always included and the UCL is excluded, right? This is one type of distribution. Nobody will ask you to fit a 10.5 out here. Generally, booster. Another one would be what is called a discontinuous class distribution. A discontinuous distribution is one in which there is no diagonal relationship, first of all, and it is very easy to fit a data. LCL is also included, UCL is also included. But if there comes a scenario where a 10.5 has to be included, what do? We take the LCL of the preceding class, sorry, UCL of the preceding class, and we subtract it from the LCL of the subsequent class. How much did you get? 1. And you take half of the difference. Half of the difference of UCL of preceding class from LCL of subsequent class. You take half of it. So half of 1 is how much? 0.5. And then you stretch this by 0.5, stretch this by 0.5.
So if they are being classified as third class, then
Which one?
and if they are for 10.5.
Now this class is no more. This distribution has gone. The new distribution is this. And what is this distribution now? Continuous. Now follow the continuous rule.
But
There is no method. It is like how to convert discontinuous to continuous. Sometimes you may be needed to convert a discontinuous to continuous. Once the continuous has been done, follow the continuous rule. Continuous क्या कहता है? बायां साइड इंक्लूडेड, दायां साइड नॉट इंक्लूडेड. अपने को कितना फिट करना था? 10.5 फिट करना था. तो यहां फिट नहीं करेंगे, यहां फिट करेंगे. समझ में आया? वेरी गुड. बहुत अच्छी बात है. कहानी ऐसे चलते चलते मिटाऊं क्या इसको? ओके. अब जाते जाते कैसा रहेगा? अब थोड़ा सुंदर करते हैं हमारे डेटा को. नाउ आवर डेटा विल बी लुकिंग समथिंग लाइक दिस. देखो कैसा रहेगा. आवर डेटा विल लुक समवट लाइक दिस. जैसे मान लो व्हाट ऑल वी हैव लर्नड सो फार. ओके. Because these 3 steps, whether you're in grade 10, advanced mathematics, कोई भी करो, ये तो common steps है. So first thing you will get is, say, the class intervals that you will get. Okay. Basically, what you're getting here is your ग्रुप डेटा, ये आपको मिलेगा। ये क्लास इंटरवल कॉन्टिन्यूअस हो सकता है या फिर आपका क्या हो सकता है, डिसकंटिन्यूअस। एज आई एम राइटिंग नाउ यू शुड हैव नो डाउट व्हाट इज कंटिन्यूअस व्हाट इज डिसकंटिन्यूअस। समझ में आया? क्लास इंटरवल में देखने लायक चीजें क्या क्या है सर? इसमें रेंज को देख सकते हैं हम लोग, और क्या, भले ही सीबीएसई पूछे नहीं पूछे, और क्या देख सकते हैं सर? फॉर ए क्लास, किसी भी एक क्लास के लिए वी कैन नो व्हाट इज एलसीएल, व्हाट इज एचसीएल, लिख रहा हूं यूसीएल, अपर क्लास लिमिट लिख सकते हैं। ठीक है, इतना ही पता है हमें। इसके बाद जिस चीज पे हम आते हैं वो होता है बेसिकली हमारा क्लास मार्क। Class mark means basically the data that you want to see, the data. And the class mark is calculated how? Always LCL plus UCL divided by 2. ये होता है हमारा class mark. Our interest is more to process from here. In junior classes, the problem starts from here. But as you go to grade 9, 10 onwards, the problem will start from here. पहले आलू छिलके वाला छीलोगे, फिर आलू, then आलू की सब्जी। Have you understood? Right. यहां से एक और चीज हमें आना चाहिए, that is convert discontinuous to continuous। देखो तो सब आता है कि नहीं आपको, discontinuous to continuous। एक बार क्लास मार्क बन गया, we come to something which is called frequency। क्लास मार्क मिल गया हमें, ये डेटा कितने बार अपीयर करता है, that is called your frequency। Okay, now some terms. The data in statistics is always written as in the form of x। डेटा को कैसे लिखते हैं बेटा? x के फॉर्म में लिखते हैं। ठीक है, now you learn some nomenclature। The data is always written in x। How many type of data? 9, 8, 10, say, like if you have class interval type, you will have 32.5, 37.5, 42.5, and these are so many. It may go up to say 232.5, we don't know। तो इसको हम कंप्यूटर प्रोग्रामिंग अगर आप करते हैं, इस डेटा को हम बोलते हैं xi बोलते हैं, where I is a counter। I starts from, suppose you are having 100 data, I starts from 1 to 100। Like xi means x1 is 32.5, x2 is 37.5, x3 is 40.5, whatever it is। Have you understood? I is a counter because you don't have only one data, you have got 7-8 datas, and different number of times they are appearing। Please understand, 32.5, or let's say the class mark is 35, easy कर लेते हैं। Let's say the class interval is 20 to 30, then what is the class mark? 25, 35, 45। 25 may appear 9 times also ना, that is also possible, so that is frequency। So frequency को हम क्या बोलते हैं? frequency we will denote always with f। now these nomenclatures go on with you till your advanced maths BSc जो भी पढ़ो। frequency, now let's say I have a data, I have a class mark which is 25, and it appears how many number of times? 9 times। and in considering a class interval of 10 10 10 10, my next data would be 35, this is appearing 6 times। my next data is 45, which is appearing 3 times। समझ में आया? x1 is 25, x2 is 35, x3 is 45। what is our I counter? I equal to 1 to 3, तीन ही डेटा है मेरे पास। so what will you call this? This is also called fi। for the xi equal to 25, the fi is how much? 9। so when x1 is equal to 25, f1 is how much? 9। f1 tells me how many times x1 data is repeating, है ना? क्रिकेट स्टैटिस्टिक्स से कहां आ गए अभी धीरे धीरे। f1 tells me how many times x1 is repeating। so fi in generic tells me how many times xi is repeating। sir which xi? जो तेरी मर्जी। my I is data number 46, data number 46 is 105, वो रिपीट कर रहा है 9 बार, तो उसका f 45 वाला कितना होगा? 105। have you understood? ऐसे करते करते आपको बोलेगा that the score of 80 students of grade 9 were picked and tabulated 80 students cannot score 80 different scores. 80 students will score something around, say, 25 different type of scores they are scoring. So try to understand statistics. यहाँ पे हमें 25 डेटास ही आएगा, लेकिन उनके फ्रीक्वेंसी को अगर हम ऐड करेंगे तो वैल्यू एट 80 आना चाहिए. समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं? हमारे क्लास में, इन माय क्लास आई हैव गॉट हाउ मेनी किड्स? 80 different kids. Do you think 80 kids are going to score 80 different type of marks? No. A 20 may be scored by 5 children, a 40 may be scored by 6 children. So I am saying overall the type of scores that I got was, say, only 20 different scores. But 20 different scores were scored by how many children? 80 children. That means few scores got repeated. That's what the frequency is going to tell me. And if I add all the frequency, what should I get? 80. First of all, whenever you are making your tabulation, check. किसी क्वेश्चन में रहेगा 180 people were surveyed at a bus stand. How many people? 180. आपका फ्रीक्वेंसी 180 आना ही है. अगर वहां नहीं आ रहा है ना, स्टार्टिंग में गड़बड़. This now we will denote as what? This is called sigma. अभी हम, now you will get that summation. Sum. Even in Excel you will see the symbol. Sum is denoted by the Greek symbol which is known as sigma. Sigma का भी एक स्टाइल है. Sigma कैपिटल भी होता है and sigma स्मॉल भी होता है. ग्रीक वालों में भी स्मॉल कैपिटल था. स्मॉल वाला सिग्मा ऐसे लिखते हैं, ये फिजिक्स में काम में आएगा, अभी इतना काम नहीं है. एंड कैपिटल में सिग्मा इसमें आएगा. It's like an E, like this. This is called sigma. So we will write this as sigma Fi. Summation of the frequency will be denoted as sigma Fi. And sigma Fi should be equal to the number of observations that you started your problem with, whatever you started your problem with. Clear है बच्चा? इतना. इसके बाद जो पहला तुम्हारा चुन्नू मुन्नू एक्सरसाइजेस है ना, they will be talking. Given a data distribution, tabulate it in the form of data and write their respective frequencies. Show the frequencies later in tally mark. है ना? दिमाग आदमी खाना चाहे तो कितने तरह से खा सकता है. फिर आपको बोल सकता है इसका tally mark बना के दिखाओ. See, your chapter will first start with these chinnu minnu, then it will talk about bar graph and histogram, and then there is a talk about mean and median. I will not talk bar graph and histogram now. I will take this discussion further to mean and median. There's a last part of the chapter because there's a continuity. Bar graph and other part is a pictorial graph which we will do separate. We'll do उसको बाद में करेंगे, ठीक है ना? Now somebody may say represent this in the format of a tally mark. तो आ जाओ बच्चा, tally mark बना के दिखा दो. बस सब करना ही क्या है आपने. tally mark 9 है ना, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Have you understood? यहाँ पे ये सब कहानी शुरू खत्म हो जाता है फर्स्ट एक्सरसाइज. फर्स्ट एक्सरसाइज से कोई आपको सवाल दे, यू विल गेट अ क्वेश्चन हियर टू ड्रॉ अ हिस्टोग्राम जनरली, और कैलकुलेट मीन और कैलकुलेट मीडियन. ये तीनों चीज ही आएगा. हिस्टोग्राम में भी दे विल गिव यू अ हिस्टोग्राम व्हिच विल बी तेरा वाला हिस्टोग्राम देगा. और नाउ सिंस कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस आर देयर, सो दे विल गिव यू द डेटा, एंड दैट इज व्हाट दे डू इन कैम्ब्रिज मोर. In our CBSE children, what they'll do, they'll make them draw all these, make what you call calculate mean and all. This Cambridge is not like that. Cambridge will give all the data and now start asking you questions. Have you understood how to interpret? They'll give you a graph. Tell how many people claimed warranty. How do you think warranty claims can be brought down? This can be brought down. They're asking questions based on your judgment, which is good. And then we have one more thing called frequency polygon. So I'll before we conclude, I'll just write down how we will go now. Since we have had this discussion, we will next be going to mean. Okay, and then we will understand what is median. Problems आप कर सकते हैं. Every problem is easy. Every problem, 1 or 2 will do with median. Then we will come back to bar graph, and after bar graph we will come to histogram. And once we have done histogram, we will also do something which is known as frequency polygon. फ्रीक्वेंसी पॉलीगन. बार ग्राफ आप ग्राइड 8 में कर चुके हैं, थोड़ा सा दिखाएंगे. ये एक दिन का मैटर है. One class is more than enough to finish. But these two, I spend lot of time with children. इसमें मजेदार डेटा है. हाँ. Last year also, but last year you did not do histograms which had adjusting frequencies. Last year was kiddo histogram. Histogram is not there in grade 10. So this is histograms final year for you. So obviously it is going to come in a senior group, right? Whereas mean is the kiddo mean for you. Mean becomes much more what you call versatile in grade 10. But ये में कर सकते हैं. Median also becomes versatile in grade 10. Now you will see the kiddo version of mean and kiddo median. But
So sir, how to become like
they will give you much more bigger calculations, how to reduce the calculation, how to go step deviation, assume mean. Concept remains the same. If you see the statistics class of grade 10 video is there. We start with mean. If you have too much of itching, you can go and see that video. We start from grade 8 concept. What is average? And from there we see that as you grow up in classes, the calculations come much more complex. You can't use a calculator. So how to shorten the calculation and do it. Grade 10, we learn tools how to shorten it, but the concept remains the same. So from here, our next class will be targeting mean median. We'll target mean median. If possible, we'll come back to bar graph also. 2 more classes, we should be done with this. ज़्यादा नहीं चाहिए. ठीक है, तो इतना सा थोड़ा देख लीजिएगा. नेक्स्ट टाइम आने से पहले काम में आता है. बाकी बुक्स में आपको स्कूल में डायरेक्टली प्रॉब्लम कराएगा, तो आप पहले ये जानना जरूरी है.